I expected you. We have business, you and I. Red Mountain. In my library, I have made available 2 conflicting accounts of the events of Red Mountain. My own true account, and another false account, common among Ashlanders and preserved in the Apocrypha. I don't care whether you believe my account or not. I leave it up to you to judge which is true. Business. When I was young like you, I was very impatient, so I will keep our business short. Then later, there may be time for other things. First, I propose to remove my curse upon the Nerevarine, end the persecution of the dissident priests, and proclaim to all Morrowind that Tiberi is the incarnate Nerevarine, the prophesied savior of Morrowind, and the last hope to withstand the menace of Dageth and the Sixth House. These things I will do, whether you wish or not. Next, I propose to surrender to you the power and responsibility of defeating Dageth. You may choose to refuse. I will not compel you. You will receive the power as a gift in the form of an artifact called Wraithguard. You may accept the gift, then do with it as you will. You will receive the responsibility as an oath. You may give your oath then, or keep it, or break it as you like. First, will you accept Wraithguard as a gift? Oh, I'll take your maybe as a no. Then that concludes our interview. I hope it has not been an inconvenience, and if you change your mind, come back. Business. Let's try again, shall we? I propose to give you an artifact called Wraithguard. You may accept the gift, then do with it as you will. I propose that you expect the responsibility of defeating Dageth and swearing an oath to that effect. You may give your oath, then keep it or break it as you like. First, will you accept Wraithguard as a gift? Yes, I accept Wraithguard. Good. Sensible of you. And now, will you give your oath before all gods and men, before all spirits visible and invisible, before my honor and your honor, to dedicate yourself and Wraithguard to the defeat and destruction of Dageth and the preservation of Morrowind and its people? Yes, so I swear. Not very sensible, but very good. I was hoping for someone who would have no hesitations about making such an oath. You will now have a brief, momentary sensation of time passing. Don't be alarmed. You are being taken out of time in order to avoid the unpleasant experience of learning how to use Wraithguard. It will be over before... There is a brief sensation of motion in total darkness, floating, but without a sense of weight or direction. You know it. Now, I will notify the temple that you are our champion. There will be no more persecution of the dissident priests, and I hope both sides shall swiftly be reconciled. We have time for questions if you like, or you may leave as you wish, but I think there are at least 2 things you ought to know before you leave: how to use Wraithguard, and how to defeat Dageth. Your journal is updated. Wraithguard has been added to your inventory. Unique Dwemer artifact has been removed from your inventory. Defeat Dageth. To defeat Dageth, go to Red Mountain to recover the artifact hammer Sunder from the Gate Citadel Veminal. Then recover the artifact blade Keening from Gate Citadel Ordosal. Then proceed Odrasal. Then proceed with Wraithguard, Sunder, and Keening to the Citadel of Dageth. Within the Citadel, find the Heart of Lorcan. Use the 3 artifacts to sever Dageth connection to the heart, and he will be destroyed, and the blight ended on Morrowind. To destroy Dageth, you must sever his connection with the Heart of Lorcan. To do this, strike the heart with the artifact hammer Sunder once, then strike the heart more than once with the artifact blade keening. You must wear Wraithguard because you cannot handle either Sunder or Keening unless you are wearing Wraithguard. That is the short, simple explanation. Here is the long, detailed explanation written down for your convenience. Read it, study it, commit it to memory. Dageth Dageth is the former Lord High Counselor of House Dageth. He was of Lord Nerevar's generation, older than we, and a mighty sorcerer and enchanter in life. In his sustained shadow immortality, he appears to be a highly intelligent, severely deluded immortal monster with unparalleled supernatural abilities. He appears by turns lucid and deranged, compassionate and bestial, profoundly wise and profoundly disordered. In short, he is a mad god. My library. I want your trust and willing cooperation, so I've had the priests make copies of a number of documents. They are here for you to read or take with you. Take a look at them. Help yourself. Actually, I believe we've finished our business. I will notify the temple that you are our champion. There shall be no more persecution of the dissident priests, and I hope both sides shall be swiftly reconciled. Now you are my guest, and I am your host, and we have time for explanations, or counsel, or questions, or bitter recriminations if you like, or you may leave if you wish, as you wish. But I think before you leave, you should hear how to defeat Dageth and how you must use the artifact Wraithguard. Bitter recrimination. You want to chide me. Why did I murder Nerevar? Why did I break my oath to Azura not to use Kagranak's tools? Why did I cause others to suffer? Break my oath. Along with Lord Nerevar, and at his insistence, Almalexia, Sothasil, and I swore before our god of oaths at the time, the Daedra Lord Azura, never to employ the tools of Kagranak for any purpose. We broke our oaths. We turned our backs on the old gods. I still see no compelling reason to worship any of the Aedra or Daedra, but for the respect I held for Nerevar and the respect I held for myself, I should never have betrayed my oath. Of all my life's actions, I most regret that failure. Cause others to suffer. Why did I cause others to suffer? I respect that question, and you for it. The most I can say is, I did the best I could, as I saw things. Can you, mortal, presume to judge the actions and motives of a god? But because I need you, and you need me, I will make an accounting for my sins to you. But not now. Destroy Dageth and then we will discuss my sins. Then perhaps you will have earned the right to judge me. Council, you need to know, where is Dageth and what are Dageth plans? Who are Dageth servants? Who is Dageth What are Dageth powers? What is known about Dageth defenses? How can I prepare for battle against Dageth and who can help? Dageth defenses. Confer with the Ordinators and Buoyant Armigers garrisoning Ghost Gate for the latest information about the defenses of the citadels of Dageth and his Heart-Right kin. Heart-White kin. Dageth plans. We know nothing for sure, but we have learned much from interrogating Sixth House cultists and victims of dream compulsions, and from our study of Dageth actions. The temple scholars and inquisitors have prepared a document, Dageth plans, that summarizes what we know or suspect. Take Take this copy. It's also available in my library. Dageth powers. He is able to send his mind into the dreams of susceptible victims across vast distances. The victims are either swayed by his compulsions or driven mad. He also seems nearly invulnerable to physical and magical harm. His flesh and the flesh of his followers evolves towards a mutable, magical form. Dageth and the highest ranks can control the distorted manifestations of their flesh. Lower ranks lose control of their bodies and become mindless corpus monsters. Dageth servants. Chief among his servants are his 7 brothers, the Ash Vampires, powerful heart wights, and cunning sorcerers of old. These creatures appear to die, but always are revived at the heart. Somehow, Dageth has conferred some portion of his immortality upon them, or perhaps they sustain themselves through more conventional sorcery. Explanations. You want to know, why did I wage war on the Nerevarine? Why did I try to suppress the apocrypha? Why did I persecute the dissonant priests? Why is Dageth winning the war? How does the tribunal fight Dageth What are Wraithguard's powers? Dageth winning. Dageth is winning because he is close to the source of power, Lorcan's heart, and because he retains the passion of madness, while we have settled into the lonely and unrewarding posture of dogged dutifulness and perseverance. And finally, perhaps because he is stronger and smarter than we are, and his followers are more fervent and fanatical. I believe we were careless and complacent and outwitted, and in the matter of denying the Nerevarine, we were foolish. Murder Nerevar. We did not murder Nerevar. The legend that we murdered Nerevar comes from a story told by a shield companion to Nerevar, Alandro Sul, who lived among the Ashlanders. The Ashlanders have retained Alandro Sul's account as part of their oral histories. The account is persuasive in some details, implausible in others, and is in any case false. I have 2 accounts of Nerevar's death here in my library. Read them and judge for yourself. Persecute the dissident priests. Suppression and persecution of dissent is just one of the standard tools of statecraft. I believe we erred in trusting the judgment of Beryl Sala. He and his ordinators served valiantly in the war against Dageth We mistook his misplaced zeal for energy and dedication. Mistakes were made, but no more. There shall be no more persecution of the dissident priests, and I hope both sides shall be swiftly reconciled. Prepare for battle. Prepare for war. Beyond the ghost fence, there is no safe place, no allies. Stockpile resources, plan for retreat and replenishment, quest for artifacts of power. Questions. You are curious. What really happened at Red Mountain? What really happened to the Dwemer? What was the Dwemer's sin? What is it like to be a god? Do I remember being mortal? How do I feel about the people of Morrowind? Dwemer's sin. The sin of the Dwemer was the creation of a new god from the substance of a dead god, Lorkhan. That is also the sin for which we would destroy Dagoth-Ur. I hesitate to call it sin. More properly, we call it destructive evil. The sin of the tribunal, however, is in breaking of an oath to Azura to forbear from tapping the heart with Kragernak's tools, and in the folly of seeking to become gods. Breaking the oath was evil. Becoming gods was folly. If we sinned, we have paid the price. People of Morrowind. I love the people of Morrowind. I became a god to make their lives more comfortable and secure. I am most close to my faithful followers. I am literally in their hearts and minds. I feel the most sympathy for the House Redoran. They are Dunmer driven by creeds and deeds, like I am. House Indoral is closer to the compassion and sympathy of Almalexia, and a comfortable and secure serenity. House Tovani matches the disposition of my brother Sotha Sil, iconoclastic, profane, unconventional. House Hlalu represents the future of the Dunmer, integrated into the sophisticated mainstream of the traditionless, raceless, godless culture of the Empire. House Dress represents the past of pre-tribunal Great House culture, a persistent tradition of Daedra and ancestor-worshipping civilized Dunmer clans, and I even love the Ashlanders for their preservation of the most ancient barbarian tribal traditions of the Dunmer who first settled Morrowind. Remember being mortal. I remember. I do not feel it. I can, if I choose, remember the feeling, but I do not choose. It is very, very sad being mortal. There is happiness, yes, but mostly sadness. As I have said, count only the happy hours. For mortals, they are all too few, but for gods, for me, there is no more feeling, only knowing. Not quite no more feeling. I still want to win. I want to defeat Dagoth-Ur. Perhaps I have lost the feeling for the people, for their suffering. I don't want that feeling. It is no use to me. That is no longer what matters to me. I only want not to lose. To lose would be very, very bitter. Suppress the Apocrypha. Why did I suppress the Apocrypha? Because it was such an unfortunate mixture of truth, falsehood, and speculation that I couldn't afford to manage the confused reaction of our faithful. Any doubt whatsoever weakened their faith, and we needed their faith to give us the power to maintain the ghost fence. In retrospect, perhaps we lost the faith of those we most needed, while preserving the faith of the meek and indifferent. Perhaps a mistake was made. Who can say? The Dwemer. I have no idea what happened to the Dwemer. I have no sense of them in the timeless divine world outside of mortal time, and in fact, if I did believe they existed, I would be in no hurry to make contact with them. They may, with some justice, hold the Dunmer race responsible for their fate. My intuition is that they are gone forever, and that is perfectly fine with me. To be a god. It is like being a juggler. Things are always moving, and you learn to know where they are moving, where they are, without even thinking about it. Only there are many, many things moving, And sometimes, like any juggler, you drop something. I'm afraid it has become a lot more a matter of dropping things lately. There's too much to do, and not enough time, and I'm losing my touch. Perhaps I'm growing old. It is a bit like being at once awake and asleep. Awake, I am here with you, thinking and talking. Asleep, I am very, very busy. Perhaps for other gods, the completely immortal ones, it is only like that being asleep. Out of time. Me, I exist at once inside of time and outside of it. It's nice never being dead, too. When I die in the world of time, then I'm completely asleep. I'm very much aware that all I have to do is to choose to wake. And I'm alive again. Many times I have very deliberately tried to wait patiently a very long, long time before choosing to wake up. And no matter how long it feels like I wait, it always appears, when I wake up, that no time has passed at all. That is the God place, the place out of time, where everything is always happening all at once. Tribunal fight Dageth. In the past, the Tribunal made seasonal campaigns to Red Mountain. We slew Dageth and his kin, though the heart always revived them in time. Later, when we realized we couldn't destroy them, we created the Ghost Fence to contain the threat. These solutions were effective until Dageth ambushed us and captured Sunder and Keening. Since that time, our fortunes have waned and his increased. War on the Nerevarine. Why did I try to kill you? Because you threatened the faith of my followers, and I needed their faith to hold back the darkness. And I thought you were my enemy, a pawn of the subtle Daedra Lord Azura, or a pawn of Emperor Uriel Septim, or a simple fraud, perhaps a hero, but not much of one if my faithful could destroy you. Now, circumstances are altered. I need you, and you need me. We are, a pawn of the subtle Daedra Lord Azura, actually. Where is Dageth? Dageth has never ventured out of the Heart Chamber, the place under Red Mountain where the heart of Lorcan lies. It is there, or nearby, that he is constructing a new god, Akulakan, also known as Second Nimundium. Who can help? Ordinators and buoyant armigers stationed at Ghost Gate have the most practical knowledge of the nightmare world inside the Ghost Fence. Seek them in my name for counsel and aid. Wraithguard's powers. Wraithguard's primary function is to protect the wearer from the fatal energies of the artifacts Sunder and Keening. It also has minor protective enchantments against physical and magical damage that you may find useful.